Alright, I'm going to do a little demo of how I synchronize my clips. This is going to be a clip that of something I observed this morning in Tucson, Arizona. I'm using Wondershare Filmora. This is the video editor that I use. Alright, so I'm going to show you just how quickly and easy I can synchronize all my different camera views. That, yeah, even though they're all completely different systems, it's real easy. So I'm just going to drag the front camera down here to the timeline, and we'll add in the interiors there. Okay, now I have a picture-in-picture view that a setting that I like to use. I'm going to use Alt E, and it'll pop up these properties. I already have it down to a science. I'm just going to put it at 27% and put it on the Y coordinate at 394. And that puts it up here at the top center, as you see there. It's just, I know from experience with my own particular system that that's where I want it. All right, so now the rear cameras. Now, I don't really care if everything's synchronized by audio right now. All I care about is getting it placed for now. Okay, I zoomed in there. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that little extra clip there. It's not necessary, and we'll add in the other part. Now there is some overlap between the front camera and the rear cameras, so I when I'm retrieving the files, I get extra from the rear cameras to make sure I have everything covered. All right, the front the interior camera I like to have up at the top, so I'm gonna do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight these and bring up the properties with Alt E, 27. And now the position on the x-axis, I'm going to put it at minus 700. Or actually, this one's 700. And then 394. And then same there, but this time I'm going to do minus 700 and 394. Okay, now, just want to synchronize. Now, I can auto sync, but I can't auto sync a video file with the video file. I have to do audio, so I'm going to split the audio, detach audio. I usually use Control Shift D. It's right here, but I usually just use Control Shift D. It's the keyboard shortcuts are way faster. Okay, so now I'm going to select this and select one of my rear camera files, and then come right up here to auto synchronize. Now, when it's done there, it's going to move my audio. Oh, okay, it didn't sync that. It's basically I couldn't find a spot where to sync up to, so we'll do this one instead. I know I was talking in parts of this video, so it should be able to sync. It's just I might not necessarily need that first clip or that first part of it. Okay, so see it jumped. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the video part and line it up with the audio. I'm going to use up and down arrows to make sure it jumps. I'm looking for uh, any evidence that it's not lined right up down here without having to zoom in. I can also zoom in to make sure they're set up right, but I can do the key. I can just use these keyboard moves like this and very quickly know if it's synced up or not. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same process with the audio. I mean, with the interior camera. All right, we got a winner there. So I need to slide everything to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all those and then that one, and then we'll drag them all to the right. All right, so now everything's synced up. And all right, that looks good. Okay, at this point, I don't need this audio clip anymore. I'm going to hit delete, get rid of it. And I'm going to mute these. I don't want, I only want the interior camera's audio. It is actually the best sounding. I will actually, why not? Let me play it in. Let me save it real quick. Always gotta save your work. Okay. Okay, so that gives you at least an idea. Just the road noise, I think, should give you a good enough idea of what it sounds like from that camera. Now, let's go ahead and mute that one and play the... See how different it sounds? It's more, it's not as loud and clear on that one. That's why I have a heavy preference for using the interior camera as far as that's concerned. All right, now I already know about where I want to be with it. Now this is Tucson, right by where I-10 and I-19 meet up. You know, why not? I go ahead and start right there. So, all right, I'm going to use Control B, and we're going to delete that, all that. And I also don't need any of that. So, come on. All right, so now zoom that in, and all we got to work with here is what's important to us. So this should be good enough. Really just want to show the meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to show what happened here. So we'll cut all that out. And
after the video gained traction, Calvin Denker, the security guard in question, took to his own TikTok page to explain that he'd been a longtime fan of Swift. At Calvin Denker, my security job for Taylor Swift hashtag the Airstore hashtag Taylor Swift hashtag minimalizer.
Okay, so here now I want to zoom in. So I'm going to hit Control B and splice. Come down here to the bottom and then Alt C. Now I can zoom in. I usually do I'll do about 700 on that one. And I usually line up the bottom one, the bottom horizontal with my target. Because if I go much higher, it's going to disappear behind my picture-in-picture stuff. So now... And I sometimes also pan and zoom too, which I'll show you as well.
Original sound, Calvin Denker. In fact, he revealed that he even handed out laminated note cards to front row fans asking them to capture a picture of him and the singer during the concert.
Shredded tires.
While this legendary job through the iconic Minneapolis show, it was still a once-in-a-lifetime.
Where we don't really need the crop and zoom anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and reset that to normal. And let's see, no, he's already too far back. Okay, so actually let me go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually about 5 seconds or so is what I like to crop and zoom. I'm going to go ahead and now pan and zoom. Now we're going to go ahead and we'll do about 700 there and 700 on the end. Okay, now at the very beginning of the file, I want the start part. Where's my target? This guy right here. So I'm going to put it right there. And then now we're going to put this all the way to the end and then move the end to my target again. Save our work. And now let's see how this works out.
With the guard ultimately losing his job after the iconic Minneapolis show, it was still a once-in-a-lifetime memory for the dedicated fan.
Whatever that thing is dragging on the ground.
Denker shared in a follow-up video.
Big ass round.
Okay, so that's all I really need. Don't tell me you're going to close my program on me.
Top stories are
have this red line here also. That also.
After the pop star accused the Denver DJ and groping her and triggering her.
Yeah, it's going to be slower that way. Now, I can also render it. It does take extra time to do that, but it renders it where it can actually play it better. Okay, that's all I really need. I'm going to go ahead and delete the rest of it. We have 49 seconds, I think I'm looking at there. So that's the length of the whole video. It looks, yeah, it should work. Yeah, that should be good enough. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and export it now, and yeah, that's the folder I want. I usually use the file names. I think it was 0533. I just called it Sparky for obvious reasons. All right, we'll export it. I already have it set up to my preset desired configuration anyway. All right, so that's all done. Now I'll go ahead and double check the video itself. Now we'll check our work.
After the video gained traction, Calvin Denker, the security guard in question, took to his own TikTok page to explain that he'd been a longtime fan of Swift. At Calvin Denker, my security job for Taylor Swift hashtag the Airstore hashtag Taylor Swift hashtag Miniblazer Astor hashtag green screen.
What is going on up here with this guy?
No original sound, Calvin Denker. In fact, he revealed that he even handed out laminated note cards to front row fans asking them to capture a picture of him and the singer during the concert.
Shredded tires.
While this legendary moment ended on a low note for Denker, with the guard ultimately losing his job after the iconic Minneapolis show, it was still a once-in-a-lifetime memory for the dedicated
Alright,
fan.
looks good. So,
whatever I did is dragging on the ground.
And all the fans had a good time. Denker shared in a follow-up video.
Big ass